Hey guys, Ren Pavich, HVAC Architect. This video I'm going to go over how much money I made in my first 6 months in my HVAC business. And then I'm going to show you the profit and loss on that. Today is the 15th of May 2020, and I'm going to go through my old QuickBooks, and I'm going to show you a little bit about how much I made in my first 6 months. So stay tuned. All the new subscribers, getting a lot of comments on my videos. My subscriptions are up. I appreciate that. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Had a lot of comments on one of my videos on starting an HVAC company and what it was like and what I went through. So I decided, let's get down to the real part of being in the HVAC business, is learning the money side of this thing. Doing the HVAC work is one thing and hiring people is another thing. One of the things we need to be good at, or hire somebody to do for us, is to keep track of the money, because that's our report card. So I'm going to show you exactly what mine was in my QuickBooks. And in this, when if you're new to open a business or you're thinking about it, your QuickBooks is not going to be perfect when you start, meaning like you might not have your classes and coding all set up. It's like a work in progress. It's like the first time you ever worked on an air conditioner, the first time you ever fixed a furnace, or the first time you did an installation. You know, it's not going to be good, but what it's going to do is you're starting to build a story, a financial picture of what your business is. So with that being said, I'm going to get right into it. One of the things I use and still use is QuickBooks Online, and I have no affiliation with them. I changed the name in here. I belong to another organization, and that's a fake name here, but I changed the name of my QuickBooks, and that's no big deal. So I go into reports here, and I can remember this like yesterday, talking some of my other videos about how, I always kept a diary, and, I got a pretty good memory. But I'm going to go to my profit and loss. I opened in 2013 in June. And actually it was on the 2nd, but I'm going to just put the 1st for the report, which is no big deal. And we're going to show you how much money I actually brought in, or revenue, when I opened my business. Now, it's important to track this because you're not going to understand the financial picture of your business unless you look at this stuff. Okay, profit and loss, that's the wrong dates. That's why. So you got to make sure you get your dates right. Okay, let's run that report. Okay, so actually it was 7 months worth of business, not 6. So when they talk about a profit and loss in a business, whether it be an HVAC business, plumbing business, electrical business, any business, you always hear the word top of the line. Basically, that's all your sales, or all the money that's brought into the business. So your top of the line in an HVAC business, you can break it down. Mine was residential, regular repairs, accessories, service agreements, equipment change-outs, etc. And then I broke it down by commercial, service, and replacements. So total income for 7 months, $142,588 for 7 months. I didn't have an existing business. I wasn't actually working in the HVAC industry for two and a half years prior to opening. So I literally started from scratch. And I would say for my first 7 months in business, I did pretty good. What we can do here is we're going to look down here. So once you take your total cost of goods sold, which is your labor, your equipment cost, parts cost, things like that, your direct cost of sales out of the total money you brought in. So I brought in 142, total cost of goods sold 50,000, gross profit 92,000. Now we have to go into what they call the below the line expenses. Your rent, utilities, office, phone, communication, your insurance, advertising, and then you can break down your advertising by decaled vehicles, direct mail, yellow pages, because everything is a percentage of what your top line is. And that's why you track this, so you can the better you become at the financial part of this thing, the easier your business will become to manage. So I broke that down here, and I'm going to take my face out of this so you can see this whole report. So my net operating income, or my NOI, which takes in all my other miscellaneous expenses from running a business, minus depreciation and amortization. For my first 7 months, I made about $49,000, and net operating income. A lot of you guys might be looking at that going, man, that's not bad for 7 months. What would that be in 12 months? And my first getting all this in, data entry and bookkeeping. The reason why I like QuickBooks Online is I had one credit card I used for paying bills, specific bills that I could pay with a credit card, and then I use Chase Bank. And what QuickBooks Online does is it allows you to link your banking and your credit cards. You can link that all up in here, so it makes your bookkeeping way easier, because if you're just running around with like a box of receipts and stuff like that, it's really hard, but it can save a lot of time with that QuickBooks Online. I could make a whole like 10 videos on that, and I'm not going to do that. But so the idea is, a lot of guys have watched my videos and they were curious, what it takes to start it, and I went into different videos, if you haven't seen them, on my different locations, and as I grew, where I moved to, and things of that nature. But I figured let's start a little series on the financial part of this, and I can talk numbers forever. Not only do I like to fix furnaces, air conditioners, and things like that, I like to talk the numbers, because as you develop your QuickBooks Online or whatever other accounting program you're using, you can start to use this data to make tweaks to your business as you start to grow and find out if you're operating your business correctly. So I appreciate you stopping by. I'm not going to make a super long video, but I just wanted to show you that, if you're thinking about going into business, this is what I did in my first 7 months. And one thing I didn't explain, but my net operating income is only $48,000. Part of that was, and you probably didn't catch it, and I'd have to expand it on a different report, is it cost me about $43,000 between buying vans and computers and what have you. Within my first 7 months, I took all my money back. That's why my net profit, or NOI, is actually lower in my first year, because I ran debt free. I didn't have any vehicle loans at this time. I didn't have any leases and things like that. I was operating out of this house. My office was in the spare bedroom in the back, and my shop was in my garage. So I actually paid myself back all my money first, so this thing could roll debt free. So if you're thinking about doing a business, highly suggest you take a look at some of my other videos. A lot of you guys don't know it, but I actually lost my job like 3 weeks ago. I was working. I sold my business. I've been working for another contractor in the union for about 19 months. They had a period because of this crisis with the COVID thing going on. There was 2 of us let go, and I was one of them. And I'm thinking about it. I might even make a video on that. And I think I had pissed my service manager off about a comment I made in one of my YouTube videos. But that's another story. If you've got any questions or concerns, either send me an email in my description. I always put my email on how to get a hold of me. If you got a question about business, feel free to email me, and I'll email you back if I got the answer. If I don't know, I'll let you know. Or if you've got a comment on anything in this video that I talked about, go ahead and share it with me. And I'd like to see if there's something you want me to maybe cover on the next one. Now, the next one, what I want to show you, and I'll do it briefly before I end this one. And the next one is really going to, I was looking at this, and I remember my business. It was, we exploded, and everybody goes, I'm just going to give you a little teaser on that. So that was my first 7 months. I'm going to go into what my next full 12 months was in business, and I'm just going to show you what so my next 12 consecutive months in business in 2014, I went from doing, what did I say, like 140 something, 50 something. I jumped it all the way up to 665. So I'm going to go into that in a little more detail and what happened and what I learned on that. But appreciate you guys stopping by. Look forward to making another video, and I hope everybody is staying safe out there.